I'm Diana McCown. Right now I'm teaching Sweet and Steady Flow on Tuesdays, which is like a level 1 vinyasa class if you were to level vinyasa classes. So it's open to everybody. It's a 50-minute class, which makes it the perfect lunchtime yoga class because you can jump in, do some yoga, and then be back before anybody misses you. So I teach that, and then I'm beginning a 4-class series for Yoga for Athletes, which is the donation class for the Safe Routes to School program. And then the first Sunday of every month, I teach my Eyes Free class. And so that is also a donation-based class for the Metro Washington Blind Athletes Association. And that's the first Sunday of every month in Silver Spring from 3:15 to 4:45. When a student comes to my class, they can expect to be invited to engage in their own practice. So I consider myself the guide and the person that is suggesting a series of poses in which to take their body through different shapes. And I'll instruct ways that they can move in and out of those shapes so that they're safe. But ultimately, the onus is on the student to recognize if stepping a leg forward in one particular way doesn't work for them, then I very much want them to recognize that it is okay to take and move in an alternative way and to modify their practice as needed. So when a student comes into class, we go through different stops along the way and different modifications so that there's always a point where the student can stay in the shape that serves them the most. So it may be the full expression of the pose, it may not be the full expression of the pose. And I might not even teach the full expression of the pose on any given day, depending on what we're doing. A lot of times my classes tend to reflect the world around us, and sometimes there's a heaviness in the world, sometimes there's a lightness in the world, and we try to balance that on the mat so that what a student gets on the mat they can take with them off the mat and out into the world. Is that when a student comes to my class, because of my experience teaching the blind and visually impaired community, I don't do a lot of demoing. I do a lot of instructing and watching of students to make sure that my instructions resonated and landed with them. And so as a result, it also is asking the students and asking the yogis that are in my class to be more aware of what their body is doing, because they need to actually listen and then move and figure out, oh, right hand down, left hand to left hip. Okay, I got that. Not see what I'm doing with my opposite hand, So it is a bit of a different experience because I do very, very, very little demoing. Sometimes I will demo if we're trying something new or there's a movement that I'm going to incorporate into a sequence and I want my sighted students to be able to see it so that they can process it because they tend to process visually. But most of the time I will have taken that movement, done it myself, also done it blindfolded and see where the instruction lands. But sometimes that's a big ask, and sometimes a lot of students don't like that. They really want to be able to see what an instructor is doing and follow the instructor. So that's one thing that's a little bit different from my classes is I don't do a lot of demoing.